Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome to a special tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a weapon, specifically this weapon, a sword. We're going to be going over how to hard surface model a sword, a sci-fi sword, not a regular sword. This one's pretty wild. So the first thing I would recommend is you analyze your reference image. So for example, in this case, there seems to be multiple pieces. One will be the handle. One will be the blade itself. There's also this detail here, and then another blade, so this one can cut you on both sides, and then a sphere. There's a couple of other details that we can talk about, but right now we're going to start with the basic model, and then we're going to start adding details. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already created a project, so for the people that are new at modeling, you always have to go to File, Project Window, click New, and just make sure that you create a project. I've already created it, so I'm going to make sure that I set my project. I'm calling this project sword and set, and I'm ready to go. So let's create a free image plane, and then up here we're going to get our attributes, Control A if you don't see it. And then the next thing we're going to do is go to our image name and click on this little folder, and I already have an image. This is located in my source images. So make sure that any type of references you're going to use, place it in source images. Click on that, click open, and voila. Just like that, we have a sword image plane. Cool. All right, let's go to the, in my case, the front view. And I'm going to start off with a cylinder because the bottom looks like a cylinder. And if you need to scale this up to make this easier for you, that might be a good idea. All right, let's go over here. I'm going to go to my inputs. I'm going to make sure my cap is turned off to 0. And I also need to reduce my subdivision because this is looking pretty high. And I want to make sure I can keep it reasonable. So maybe around 12 might be a good option. I'm going to scale it down and then go ahead and start working on it. So as you can see, it looks something like this so far, just floating. Let's go back here. We're going to go to face. You might need to go to this mode and Control E, which is extrude. And similar to other tutorials, we're doing a hard surface modeling. So make sure that you scale and just follow along with your object. Control E again. So it's going to be a continuous movement of scale, move, rotate, and just start getting that basic shape. All right, so I would like to see through my object or through the model. So let's go to shading up here in your window and go to X-ray, and that's going to help you see your model and how accurate it is. All right, so far so good. Let's grab some vertices and move them around so they actually fit in our model. So again, I'm just moving things around, trying to get things to fit as nicely as possible. All right, let's go back into face. Control E. Move up and scale. Okay, you see how my scale is pointed the wrong way? I'm going to double click on this and click on my reset tool. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to choose world space. So that gives me a little bit more predictable results. Scale. Control E again. Lift. Move. Scale uniformly. Control E again. I'll worry about these details later. Right now I'm just trying to get the basic shape. Control E again. Lift. And scale. All right, that should get me enough into trouble. All right, let's go into object mode. Let's take a look at what we have so far. So far, so good. So again, the only thing I'm focusing on right now is just the basic shape. Eventually I'm going to go in and start carving things out, but just get that nice solid shape. All right, so let's talk about this piece right here. This looks more like a square to me. So I'm going to start off with a square. So I created a cube and then I'm just snapping it up here. Oops, too close and you get pixels. Nice and simple. Take a look at this. Let's grab that bottom face. Control E. Move and scale, just like we've done before. Control E again. Move and scale. Maybe rotate a little bit so the geometry is facing like a flow. So for example, I might want to move this down a little bit just so it has a nice little flow to it. Let's go back to face. Control E. Rotate if you need to. Scale. Move. Control E. Whoops, something just got deselected. So let me make sure I grab my face, deselect these, Control E. Control E. Let's get that detail in here. Scale uniformly. Maybe push it back a little bit. Control E. Again, make a selection, deselect anything else. Control E. Rotate and place. All right, so let's see. Not too worried that this got crushed a little bit. I'll just move it. I am probably going to mirror it to the other side, but right now I'm just trying to get that shape. Cool. Let's duplicate this. I'm going to try something. I'm not sure this is going to work, but if it will, that'd be great. It's maybe, I'm hoping if I can rotate this 180 degrees and place it here. If I'm lucky, I can use that same geometry or similar geometry and just kind of alter it so I don't have to recreate that. We'll see. So it's close. Not quite, but close. Let's see if I can scale this up a little bit. All right, let's see if we can use this. So now I'm just going to move vertices around. It's just trying to help myself, try to make this faster. The faster, the better. So if this saves me a few minutes, then I will take it. Okay, there's this piece here that I need to use because there's a circle here, and then I can move these up. And then I can take this vertex and start shaping it. All right, for this piece, I'm going to shift right. Let's go to object mode, shift right click, insert edge loop. Let's go ahead and give ourselves an edge, grab a vertex and move this. So again, if you're in edge mode, shift right click and insert edge is going to be right here. And this is going to help me just get enough geometry so that I can get the nice arc that I need here. If you feel like it needs more geometry to get that nice looking curve, then insert away. Or use what you have and move it around. That also helps. Let's go ahead and get this shaped here. And all right, let's take a look at what we have. Perspective view. So far, so good. What do you guys think? Simple? Yes. Does it work? Yes. And that's what matters. All right, moving on. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is insert an edge here. And I'm just going back to where it was. So, whoops, not UV shell. Shift right click, face, make a selection, deselect, extrude, or bring up. Maybe scale it in. Something like that. That should give me a little bit of that shape that I was missing. Cool. All right. So for this one, again, it's a similar shape. It's a cube. So I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to start over here this time. Grab a vertex and bring this in, and then bring this over here. So again, I'm just using an outline. Grab a face, deselect, Control E, get that shape going. Maybe grab a vertex, move it, face, Control E, scale. Maybe right click, grab a vertex, face, Control E, hit that, scale. I need some more geometry to get this shape, but I don't want to push it like this because then I lose that edge. So shift right click, insert edge. Let's go ahead and add that edge. Go grab that vertex, move it here. Now we need to make this shape. So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, we're going to insert some edges here and here. And that way I can grab some faces, Control E for extrude, scale, move. Control E again, and shape. Grab some vertices and move things around. Let's do that to the other side. I'm going to make a selection, deselect these, Control E, scale, move around. Let's grab that vertex here. Let's grab another face, Control E, and hopefully you're starting to see the pattern. If you're worried that it's not that thick, don't worry. I am going to duplicate it to the other side once I'm done. So right now I'm just trying to focus on the shape, and eventually I'll make this thick enough so that it can hold a circle because there's a sphere in the center. So to make our life easier, let's create a sphere so we can get an idea of what this looks like here. It's about that size. And I'm going to reduce my geometry because it's super high. So that should give us an idea of how thick this piece should be. So it should be pretty thick. So I'm going to go ahead and scale it. Maybe delete the history, freeze the transformations first, and then scale. There's a little bit of an alignment issue that I'm going to work on later, but hopefully you guys get an idea of what is coming up. This appears to be too close. There we go. That looks better. Cool. Okay, the blade. You might be tempted to want to create a cube like I've been doing, but it's supposed to be sharp. So it has a thickness and then it disappears into being thin. So, I mean, it could start with a cube, but I'm actually going to start with a plane. Let's go ahead and rotate this 90, 0, 0. And I'm going to reduce this to 1. Go to vertex and start placing them where you think would be a good place. There is no guarantee as to where it's going to be, so we're just gonna trial and error this as always. But the nice thing about 3D, we can always fix it. I'm gonna add an edge here, and then I'm also gonna add an edge here to give me a little bit of that roundness that I'm missing here. And can bring this up. Put that in here. Now we're grabbing edges now, so let's see, I'm going to need another edge. Since I gave myself an edge, might as well fix it. There we go. Cool. So this time we're going to be grabbing edges instead, Control E, but it's the same theory. We're going to scale it and move it around. Control E, scale, move. Control E again to start rotating. So let's start rotating this. Probably going to need a little bit more geometry, but that's perfectly okay. I'm also following this like invisible edge that it has. Can you see how it transitions from light color to dark? That's supposed to signify that this is getting sharp. So I'm kind of making sure that those edges follow along. All right, I'm going to insert an edge, grab some vertices, move this over here, Control E again. Rinse and repeat. I think I mentioned that. You're just literally rinsing and repeating what we're going over. And again and again. All right, let's grab an edge. Grab some vertices and tweak. Tweak, tweak, tweak. Let's flatten that edge by scaling it flat, just so I can have a little bit more control over it. Move this over. Let's make sure my edges are getting close following that reference image. I'm going to scale that and move. Okay, grab a vertex if you need to, move that aside. If you want to know what it looks like, this is what it's looking like so far. Control E and lift and move. Control E, whoops. Control E again, lift, scale, follow the reference. Go to vertex if you need to move something. That's always a good idea. Control E, lift. All right, let's see. We got the sword here. All right, cool. It's cool looking. It's a cool looking sword. That's why I picked it. It's fun. Okay, let's move this guy around. So as you notice, I'm just extruding with my shortcuts. I'm just trying to be fast. That's really the key here, is to just be fast. So right now we just start off with basic shapes, and then eventually we're going to start doing details. So as you can see, we're just moving things around. If you need to grab a vertice to make it more accurate, go for it. And we're getting close to the end, which is exciting. And voila. All right, let's insert an edge because I know I'm going to need an edge right around here. And anytime you add geometry, you want to make sure that it's following your reference image. So I'm going to go ahead and move these guys. I'm looking forward to creating these designs. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so that actually worked out really well. Okay. So how do we make this look like a blade? Well, I'm going to grab these faces. So shift, click, double click, shift, double click. And I'm going to extrude. Oops, let me grab this one. And I'm also going to slightly rotate it. Again, if you're not liking the way, just make sure you reset it. And sometimes you can just go to world space to get a more accurate. So you can see that I've given it some thickness to it. The tip needs a little love, so let's focus on that part. So this part needs to be closer. Especially this part. Because that's the pointy end, and that's supposed to be used to stab people. And we also get some extra faces here, but we'll be okay there. Cool. All right, so delete the history, freeze the transformation. So I'm gonna snap it to a corner. I am going to duplicate it. Right, -1. Oops, wrong one. And the Y, -1 on the Y, nope. And the Z. There we go. Bring them close together. Select the two. Combine. Let's grab those center vertices. Make sure nothing crazy is selected. And then we're going to merge. So sometimes if the mirroring doesn't work, I just do the old-fashioned way, which is mirroring it, combining it, and then you just merge them together. So I'm going to go to merge, and that should do it. Press 3 if you want to see how it looks, but 1 is really the way I'm trying to model. Cool. Now, if you see anything you want to tweak, I definitely recommend that you turn on your symmetry. So that means that if you select one vertice, it theoretically should grab the other one if I can get the right vertex symmetry. So let's see. Let's go to... Let's grab some vertices, and now it works. Great. So if there's something you want to smooth out for a little bit, for example, you might want to grab some vertices and just kind of maybe spread them out a little bit, just so it's not so sharp. This is going to help with the transition. Between the transition between the sharp and the thickness. This looks a little thick, so I'm going to go ahead and scale and maybe grab these vertices here and also scale. Well, hopefully that gives you an idea of what to do in the next tutorial. We are going to continue on creating this area here, including the support and these. Then after that, I'm going to show you guys how to start creating those details. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Always leave a comment below. Again, don't forget to take a look at academicphoenixplus.com and take a look at all the cool stuff that I have for you, including free tutorials, free ebooks, downloads, so much more. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. So thank you again for watching and listening. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will see you in the next tutorial as we continue creating this crazy blade. All right, I'll see you next time.